Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma friends, practicing meditation is becoming a very complicated subject little by little now. And it is because more than any other time we have different kind of informations. So from ancient time, even through many civilizations, Mayans to today, thousand years, people had a very interest regarding the mind and to understand the mind and how to experience something beyond this ordinary life. People used to do different things, and when it comes to the subject of this mind, the mostly in this Western world, this recognized as consciousness. But thousand years ago, in the Eastern countries, this used to mention as mana, mind. So when it comes to mana, is little bit behavior is different than the consciousness. So today mainly we use this English word consciousness to recognize the awareness, and this kind of ideas came to world. Mostly there was a philosopher in 17th century, John Locke. He introduced this word, and after that, to Western world, there's another psychologist came, Sigmund Freud. So Professor Sigmund Freud is 1856 to 1939. This Sigmund Freud introduced this word consciousness. And then he introduced this consciousness, and collective consciousness, unconsciousness. So like that he categorized consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness. So three categories. So another one is the Carl Jung. It's a Swiss psychologist, psychiatric, in 1875 to 1961. He came and he also introduced this analytical psychology. So this is just the history that we get this, and as a subject people used to study about the mind. But thousand years ago in Eastern countries, they used to study the mind in different way. This all the Western psychologists used to study the mind for different reason. So I tell you what is that reason. The mostly they came to this world and they try to introduce this subject mainly not in a spiritual aspect. It's mainly psychological and medical field. They used to examine the mind, not a spiritual way. And what they does, they all used to did their research using certain kind of sick people. If you are very like an ordinary common person, Then if you have just the conventional behavior like others, then they name you as a healthy person. But if you have a kind of like a different behavior, then they start to examine, and then they start to give you a certain kind of names. So the Western psychology mostly study the subject regarding the mind using the sick people, and what they are trying to do, they try to put them back to this ordinary life. Be very clear. That is what they, so for that they used to examine the mind in different human character in different ways. And once they put them back to this ordinary life, then they say you are healthy now, you good. But in the Eastern culture, it is more different. They examine the mind from the healthy mind, not the sick person. And they exert to examine the mind with the healthy mind, and they start to go upward, not lower. So what is the upward mean? Day by day, they try to develop the capacity of the mind. So in the Western scientists, the psychologists, they all examine the sick people and the disease, and they try to put them back to ordinary life. But in the Eastern culture, when they examine the mind, starting from the ordinary mind, very complete, healthy mind, to go higher and experience something better than this moment. So that is where these two different things went. And when it comes to this mind, so yourself, you have to remember, this consciousness mainly depend from something that inside with one main power. So that is the main thing that I want to mention today. So when you say conscious, sometimes you say to somebody, be conscious. Why you have to say somebody to be conscious? Or sometimes you say, I'm conscious. Why you say so? If you recognize things very clearly, why you say just think? Just yourself, you have to question. You don't need to just listen to me. Question yourself. When you say to somebody, even your family members, your children, you say, be conscious. From where it come? And you say, sometimes you say, I'm conscious about it. From where it come? What is the beginning point? Why you have to be conscious regarding something? In the human nature, there are four things. That four things: ahara, nidra, baya, maitunancha. So those are the four things. The very nature for all the human beings. Depending from food and the rest and the fear and the reproducting. So those are the four things. It's common to all the living beings. Depending from food, that food can be different food. It's not the food that maybe you eat. For different animal, they have different kind of food. And there are certain existence, the happiness itself is the food. And they don't need anything else. So like that, even the mindset, it becomes the food for certain existence. Condition of the mind become the food. So that's why you have to be very clear. The food mean it is not just intake ourselves from our mouth. No, there are different ways that it can come to us. So ahara and the nidra. Nidra means the rest. It is very necessary. Not too much, not too short, but according to the balance. And another one is the fear. So the fear is common to all the existence. And the other one is reproductive. So the somehow this reproduction happen through themselves. So this is common for this ordinary existence, human life to animal life. So the whatever the existence that we can see around us. And so our subject is the consciousness. When you say conscious, that consciousness or this conscious come out of the fear. That is the very interesting thing. So just now think, if you say somebody be conscious, from where it arises, what is the beginning? And then when you say to somebody, I am conscious about it, what does that mean? There is some fear. So the awareness is more different. So when you practice meditation, more than the conscious, you have to be aware. So when the awareness arises, and that will help you to recognize, and somehow it doesn't matter, you become conscious or you become aware, you become mindful. So whatever so somehow when you practice meditation, what is happening? So somehow when you put the attention, your mental awareness toward any mental object knowingly, if you keep doing, so little by little what is happening, the fear inside start to disappear. When the fear disappear inside you, that you come to a point, you no need to be conscious, but still the recognition happens. And that is why the consciousness become more different than the awareness, because the consciousness always fear based. So the fear behind the consciousness, but when it come to awareness and you drop the fear, that is what you need. When you drop the fear and when you become aware, that is the very nature of the samadhi. Because when it comes to tranquility state, no fear. But you know. But you have no idea, I want to know it. But you know it. That direct perceptions bring itself the understanding. In that very moment, so what is happening in between this? The thought pattern drop. When you have the fear more, your thought involved with that fear. So when you have the fear, more thoughts come. But when you have no fear, very less thoughts come. So when you have a samadhi, tranquility state, what is happening? No thoughts, but the understanding happening. So from there, so in the beginning, before the Buddha, this tranquility state or the samadhi, it has a different level, but the mostly they used to think that is the highest, that is the kevali, that is the end line, samadhi. Why? Because no fear. You connected to it's a kind of like a universal consciousness, universal awareness. the universal subconsciousness, and without any kind of effort, but still that you have the connection. So when you have that samadhi, tranquility level of awareness, from there you practice the vipassana. So when you go to vipassana, the very first thing that your mind need to come out of the fear. So not even in the vipassana, remember, in day-to-day life, even though you don't see, deeper inside you, mostly in conventional level of attention come out of the fear. That is kind of like the barrier yourself to experience the moment. So in day-to-day life, how you can take out this fear? When you put attention regarding any situation or anything or any person or any situation, just observe the observer, just observe the condition of your mind first. That's as example, newly born child, and try to hold something, and now you watching, and you are the babysitter, and now you have to take care of this child, and the child behavior, and sometimes it make you more aware, and then you put the attention. That's mean also you become conscious. So mostly why you become conscious, or this child will eat something or maybe get into something or touch something, so that's mean this, that your main idea come out of the fear. That way it always, what is happening, it always increase the very nature of the fear. That fear ignite the fire. That's mean the anger. It's the huge circle, little by little happening. So you every day have the little fear, and then you don't see sometimes. It ignite the fire. Then the fear, the anger rise. So somehow you observe the child, and while you're observing the child, without becoming hurry, just observe the condition of your mind. And if you see you are afraid for this child going to do something, and then that your action come out of the fear, and you will never get into the higher development of the mind. Very nature of this whole human, the animal life, they have unnecessary fear. It is okay to conventional life, but remember, that is the main barrier when you come to practice meditation. So in meditation, you cannot have this this the fear deeper inside you, the whatever the conventional life we carry. So for that, in day-to-day life, try to slowly cut down this fear, little by little, little by little. So how you can cut down it? Observing yourself inside you. And whatever you're going to do, before you jump and start to observe, just recognition itself, when you see the condition of the mind itself, it will disappear. You don't need to do anything. Just recognition itself enough. Because the recognition, it kind of like a light. And your awareness is kind of like a light. The fear is kind of like a dark. So the light appear, the darkness disappear. So then always remember this, don't develop this unnecessary fear when you come to meditation. Why? The very reason in the meditation, when you practice, that our purpose is not you put back to this world as an ordinary person. Our purpose is take you every day to a better, higher experience. So to go to that high experience, you have to conquer this unnecessary fear. So unnecessary fear is okay for conventional life, for animal life, for existence, or the samsara. But if you look for Nibbana, come out of this unnecessary fear. So for that unnecessary fear, there is something. This is the technique that you have to practice. Always the very nature of the unnecessary fear is being quick. You action quick. So that's what we learn. That's what we train. Every day that's what we used to do. But that is for samsara. For the Nibbana, for the enlightenment, how to come out of the unnecessary fear, learn to slow down. Try it. Learn to slow down inside your mind. And then whatever the things that you do, your bodily action, verbally action, mentally action become more clear. And sometimes people ask, oh, if we become slow down like that way, things may be going to become worse. No, most of the things happen because we become hurry. That's why things go wrong, not because we become slow. When you become so hurry, you make a lot of mistakes. But you able to slow down, and you exactly you have power to go into the bottom line. Maybe if you become hurry and you have to do 10 actions to pick something. But when you become slow down, when you don't have the fear, and you only do one action, and that other all 9 actions you have to take disappear. It's like a very well trained mechanic. If you don't know how to fix the car and you become hurry, and maybe you pull out and different things because of the fear sometimes. And look at this, sometimes the doctors, and sometimes people become so hurry, people make mistakes. But if the well-known doctor and they become calm down, look at the doctors in emergency, and everybody will keep running the person to emergency room, but the doctor calm down. Why? Because they know what to do. They know how to handle that. And that's why they are more calm down. So then in yourself, remember, being conscious itself, when you say to somebody, you have the fear, another thing is you slowly transfer the fear. So it coming from the samsara, generation to generation, generation to generation, generation to generation. So rather than that, observe yourself and slow down. And in that slow down, you will see how to yourself be accurate, become very clear. And so that way, and you can get into without this self-centered mind, and you can get into this universal consciousness, universal awareness. And that is where you become more connected. And that is where you feel more deeply. So then our purpose is becoming higher and go higher, not just becoming ordinary person. So remember this, how these things happen in the history, and you no need to believe so much things, and you no need to worship so much things. So you have a mind to question, you have a mind to investigate, you have a mind yourself, and keep that freedom. Don't bound to these social ideas. So don't bound to just this academical ideas, because sometimes these things come around us, and we just deal with it, and we just hold and we carry, and we just trying to give it to our next generation. But yourself, you have strength to get into the bottom of the truth and get it and question it and look, and then you will see. More than becoming faster, if you become slow down, you have better moment to get connecting with others. There was a boy in a village. He used to run fast, and He's the best runner around all over the villages, and everybody knew that. So where he go, and when they organize the competitions, he go and run. So one time he went to, then he heard there is a village organizing there is a race marathon, and he went, he ran, he won the race. And then again they had another race, and he won that also. So everybody cheered that, and he was so happy, and he was waving his hand, oh, I am the winner, so like that. So then there was a old man sitting on in a place, and this winner went to that place and sat and asked, why you not cheering? Why you just become silence? Look how I run the race, how fast I run. Why you not happy about it? So this old wise man told, let me organize a race, just 100 meters. You no need to run that much. So the boy told, of course, you can do that. I will do, so in front of everybody. And then what he did, he called to two young boys and told to run this 100 meters. So these new two young boys ran, but the winner, the usual winner, won the race. And again everybody cheered. And he waved his hand and he jumped and came to this old man and asked, but why still you are not happy? What else I can do for you? I am wonder, look, this everybody cheer me, but why you not appreciate me? So then the wise man told, the race is not finished yet. So there is another part of the race. The young boy was so proud and told, okay, bring. If there anybody wanna run with me, come, bring. And then this wise man gave two people. One is very old mother, like a 90 years old, very old mother, 100 years old, because sometimes some women think 90 years old is not old. So we'll put 100 years, 100 years old, very old mother. And then the blind person, and told, okay, those are you have to run with these two. And the boy told, it's very simple. And then the race start. The old mother and this blind person was in the beginning point, but this guy within few seconds ran this 100 meters, and then he jumped, but no one cheered, no one make any claps. And this guy asked, why, what happened? Did I do any wrong? I won the race. And then wise man told, just repeat it and go back to the beginning point and hold the blind person, hold this old mother's hand and walk with these two. And this guy, and hold the blind person and hold the old person, mother, and start to walk slow. This guy was like killing himself. Why? Because he used to run fast. He never did this. In the beginning, it was like so difficult for him. He cannot. He tried to pull this, but this old mother and the blind person can't go with him. So then no choice. He has to slow down himself. And then he start to enjoy every step, every moment, every step. And then slowly, little by little with this both. And he slowed down and reached to the finish line with this both. The entire village, everybody stand up and cheer him. Everybody was so happy to see that. And that is the first time this boy saw all the people becoming happy, because most of time he saw only one part of the people. Why? Because whoever the losers part, and they never going to cheer for the winner. But today is the day he saw entire audience stand up and respect him. And then he came to the wise man and told, now I understand how to win the race. So that's why I told you, don't try to be fast. When we become fast, we lose a lot of things, especially the connection that we carry with the around us. So try to become slow down. That is where you defeat the inner fear that you carry through this sansara. And that make you more mindful. It brings you more clarity. It brings you more confidence. That confidence, that clarity, that awareness will help you to uplift yourself and get into the liberation as you look for and the final bliss of the Nibbana. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha pamanchatu. Bless you.